Well, hello there, Applebites. This is your Applebite Written Writ Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, The Written Writ. A show where you and I and you get creative, have fun, geek out, and all that other jazz. And we were geeking out in the green room, so I was like, let's get on to the show and do this here, because Nat had posed a question. So Nat posed the question, and we'll come back to what Ray and Vaughn both said.
All right, so the question is, who would win between Pennywise and Wally?
And Ray, you said?
I say that Wally can't feel fear, so Pennywise is dead in the water, pun intended.
And Vaughn, you said?
As soon as he said that, I kind of just, I concur that I need to rewatch Wally and see if Wally can feel fear. But even if he could, my follow-up question would be, let's say he does feel fear. Let's say I watch and I determine, he felt fear in this scene. Okay, can he drain the soul of a robot? Does a robot have a soul? Is there any lore precedent for this?
I do have a workaround answer.
Ooh,
okay.
Pennywise can control people. So if he were to control all the obese people, could summon down some type of like ion cannon and blast Wally because they're scared of him.
Yeah, good question. Good answer, I should say. I was about to throw Ben in, and then Ben disappeared.
You got rid of Ray.
Right, because I was about to.
You got rid of him mid-sentence.
I was about to press on Ben's thing here, and then he disappeared.
There we go. Here I am. Hi, Ben.
Hello. How's my sound?
You sound good. Sound very soundy.
And we're throwing you right into the fracas because we're discussing who would win in a fight. Would it be Wally or Pennywise?
Now, I never said fight.
That's true. You didn't say
fight.
I didn't say fight.
Then who would win in what context?
Yeah. Are they having like a tax write-off competition?
Well, this is a wonderful
Wally wins
segue, ladies and gentlemen, because guess what we have today? See, our good friend...
Russ.
Yes, Russ. Hold on. I am trying to get this.
I'll get a friend.
Hold on. I almost put up the wrong screen. Give me a second. So our friend Russ has a competition that he does annually.
Yeah.
Where he draws little characters, and then the winner gets to have little physical merchandise. And one of the characters is Pennywise and Wally.
You know what? I saw this already. I think maybe did Bitten Apple repost this?
Well, he does that every year. So I did post up who the characters are that are versing each other this year.
Yeah, there was some. I remember seeing it and being like Snoopy.
Yep, Snoopy is right now. The battle right now. Today's battle. The new battle is Snoopy versus Shredder.
Shredder or Vader, either way. I want to see either of those square off with Snoopy. Easy.
Well, right now it's Snoopy versus Shredder.
And they're both 50-50.
Yeah, they're both 50-50. So folks,
I mean, that's generous, right? Like, are we saying that Snoopy has all the powers of his imagination, like the Red Baron power, like all that stuff? Is that real?
Well, if we're gonna say they're fighting, then that makes total sense. That Snoopy would have all that at his disposal. Right now, we're just trying to figure out who would you like better. Would you like Snoopy or Shredder? Because these images are cute as heck.
If it's purely, that is a good Shredder. I think Ned Flanders is winning it for me right now of all of them.
You're not the only one to say that. There's a couple people that have been going towards Ned.
So how high up are we putting Ned then?
Oh, A. I don't know. For me, A. I don't know if he's an S for me.
Okay, can we agree on what belongs at the bottom?
Sure.
So just to knock that off the board.
Sure.
Okay, go for it.
Who is left of Shrek?
Left of Shrek? That is
left.
No.
Is that Ron Swanson?
That is
that makes
Ron
this
Burgundy.
tough now.
Ron Burgundy.
Burgundy.
Well, considering that none of us can like really figure it out for sure, that might be on the bottom.
Yeah.
I can respect that. Also, who's between Pennywise and Wally?
This looks to be Dorothy.
Yeah,
Dorothy?
maybe.
Dorothy, I would say, is a pretty
C or D?
You would put her at C, really?
And well, only because I can recognize the blue dress with the braided hair.
Okay.
Yeah, but also like, why not the red shoes? I feel like I'm being a jerk because this guy does.
No, that's a good point. Also, who is between Joker and Invincible?
Joker.
Oh,
are you talking about
Is that Fred Flintstone?
That's that's
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's
Beetlejuice. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
Fred
Beetlejuice,
Flintstone.
and then that's Fred Flintstone.
That is Fred, is it? Because the rest I can recognize except for the three.
If you would enjoy some larger pictures, I believe our good friend Ralph can drop the link to good old Game of Two.
Show off the bigger pictures. Hold on.
I do. Hang on. I have a question. Is it okay to have my banner picture be an image that is not a cover, but instead is a trading card?
Ooh, that's a good question. So you
Only one way to find out.
Do you guys remember the
trading card has a hot chick on it who is in the book. She is in the book. She's just not the main character. But you would find that out as soon as you click it.
Does anyone else remember the ice cream bars from the 90s of like they were like sherbet bars of different characters? You know, you get Wolverine with the eyeball gum.
I remember, yeah.
That's what that Shrek looks like to me. Is like,
or like Raphael, but he's all melted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were lucky if the gumballs were where the eyeballs should be.
All right, here we go. Now I'm going to show you the guys in a bigger format so we can actually see what's going on. All right, here's Spidey. Oh, wrong way.
That one.
Link. Our pal, Mr. Beetlejuice. Fred Flintstone actually looks really cute. Invincible.
I like Invincible.
I got to say, he does look really good. Pennywise.
Oh, it's Belle. It's Belle.
It is Belle. Okay, I didn't think it was Dorothy.
Belle?
It's Belle.
Okay, you know what? I think that puts Belle down at D. Oh, that's us.
That's a good one.
I gotta say, right now, this guy, yeah. It's not who I want to win, but this guy.
Guys, wait, Ralph. Before you go on, we should there should be a study on why all of us adore this incredibly standard-looking Ned. Like of all the ones, because think about it, like we all really like this, but of all the ones that we've shown, like this, why Ned Flanders? But
I have a theory behind this.
Tell me.
I think all the other ones are, with the exception of maybe Belle, of course, all the other ones are like corrupted or fighting or something that's made to be cute. But this is a good, wholesome person made cute. It's like good on good.
Interesting. Okay.
That's my theory.
That's a good theory.
Wait, are we really saying that Wally is corrupted?
No, but he goes through peril. He goes through peril. Ned Flanders does not. It's innocence. It's good.
That's
This
cool.
man lost his wife.
Oh my God! Snoopy.
Nobody remembers
So
Maude,
cute.
anyways. It's good Snoopy, but I'm not impressed with the Snoopy one, to be honest.
Like emo Ron Burgundy.
Oh my God, this was great. I can't believe Link
How did that
won.
lose? What did that lose to?
Link.
That's a respectable loss.
It
Although this is a really good one. I like Goliath.
That might
Goliath
be
looks
one of
really
my
good.
personal
I
favorites.
thought he was going to go farther, but as soon as he put him against Link, I was like,
Not a
Okay,
chance.
yeah.
Link has too much star power.
That's my character right there, Hugbert.
Oh, cool.
So
My
you're
first
saying we
merch
can
for
go
my
and buy
character.
Hugbert right now from Mr.
Exactly.
Game of Tunes?
Yeah, you can
Hey,
actually
do
go
we-
buy Hugbert right now from Game of Tunes.
Do we know what won last year?
Yes, we do.
You got it right.
I'll need to grab it, but give me 5 minutes.
Don't
see.
worry, I'm showing off the characters here. So there's Shrek. Look, the Vader has me though, because
Yeah.
it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Vader's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Using the little light reflector as almost like tiny cute eyes is really
yeah, yeah. I think that's
We
what
don't know
it
if
is.
he's happy or about to cry.
I also feel that it reminds me of Spaceballs.
Yes.
Dark helmet.
Dark helmet. Yes.
There was a time period, I'd say, in like 2018 to 2019, I felt like I was seeing a lot of Dark Helmet cosplays at shows, and like really good ones too.
Yeah, I actually started seeing some recently.
Yeah,
I think it's gone full circle, and there is the rumor that they're making the new movie or TV show, whatever it is that's going to be.
wow,
Baseballs 2, The Search for More Money.
more money.
Search for more money. I love it. I hope that's the actual.
I hope he keeps it because that Shredder looks pretty decent.
That's a deadly shredder.
That is Shredder. It's Shredder versus Snoopy right now, and they're at 50. They're both at 50%.
I'd say Shredder.
In case you want to know how to vote, what you do is you go to the Game of Tunes Instagram page. You go to the stories, and in the stories, you can vote for who your favorite is.
I'm going right now.
So if you want Snoopy to win, go vote right now. If you want Shredder to win, go vote right now.
Game of Tunes official.
Yeah.
Ralph, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe last year he didn't do one, correct?
I think he did one last year. Isn't that when Luigi won? Because Tony went through that campaign of
No,
making
that
sure
was
Luigi loses.
That was the year before.
Well, the previous
Actually, no, that was 2022.
The previous winner is still Luigi, though.
No, 'cause I did a double check.
Guys,
Link
silly
one.
Sorry, silly question, everybody. I just realized: is there a way I can share this live recording on like my Facebook and Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. It's an easy way to do it. You see up on the right corner where you see the different places it's streaming to.
No,
Are you signed in?
I don't have an account with StreamYard.
All right. So if you have an account with StreamYard, it makes it easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the link so you can share it to YouTube, and I'll give you the Facebook link too. But what happens is if you're signed in or if you have an account with StreamYard, and they give you an option to stream to my social medias.
Oh,
Are you on a computer or are you on a mobile device?
computer.
On the top of the page, it should just say stream this to your audience next to the login and sign up for free.
It does, but then I have to log in or sign up for free, which I have
Oh.
nothing connected to it.
Yeah, so that's what we're just talking about because he has to log in order to make it happen.
So ultimately, I could just sit here right now and like while we're doing a live show, go through. And my first pet's name was really.
Actually, with StreamYard, it's not that difficult because they have a free version of it. So,
what are you making money every time you talk about how great they are?
Wait, hold on. What's your mother's maiden name though?
Oh, well, wait a second.
So what I'll do is I'll give you the link to. Let me see. I think I got the Facebook, the easiest one. Yeah. The Facebook.
Are any of you, while Ralph's doing that, are any of you guys wrestling fans at all?
Mild?
My
Yes.
Mild.
my January and now into February has been rewatching every Royal Rumble in order.
Ooh.
And it has been fun. We ended up, what's funny is my wife and I ended up having a conversation tonight about how wrestling is in its postmodernist phase. and it like really started to grow. Because right now I'm watching the one from 2003. So you're starting to see like the cracks in the modernist thing and like where it's going to eventually end up. And I was like, how many people are watching Royal Rumble and thinking about what art phase this is in right now?
Do you have a favorite? I've had all the ones you've rewatched. Is there one that really stands out to you? You're glad you rewatched?
As like the Rumble itself?
Yes.
Wow.
I'll give you mine. Casual fan, but of all the ones that I have seen, I think it was 1992 where Ric Flair started and ended up winning. He went through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. I remember that.
That was a gooder.
That was great. I gotta agree with you. That was a great one.
That was really good. And it's also it was before they started like really losing people to WCW. So you had a lot of like heavy hitters. I think I can tell you the worst one, which is the one where they tried to do fake Razor Ramon and fake Diesel at the same time.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. For the best.
Or what about the one where John Cena and Batista were the last two and they both fell out of the ring by accident?
By accident. That's
I remember that. Okay.
I mean, that's unbelievable. You couldn't even.
And that's where Vince McMahon blew out both his quads.
Yes. And then, it's fun. So I was at WrestleMania 39 the first night where Shane came out and did the exact same thing in the ring.
Oh, wow.
And then Snoop Dogg, we were watching it and it felt like it was like planned because it was so like it just worked. And Snoop Dogg went like and did the people's elbow to Miz instead, and it was really cool. But then you find out later, like Shane did the exact same. I mean, truly came into the ring. Like, remember how Vince comes into the ring and like it just can't stand up, right? And he like kind of like directing stuff, and Shane did the same thing. It was wild. The family has bad quads.
That's a bad quad family. So, folks, now that you've seen them all, now you know what you're voting for here. Let's go back to Nat's little chart over here.
Oh.
All right. So it looks like Burgundy and Bell are going to stay down there in the bottom.
Yeah.
And so far, Ned seems to be either an A or an S, depending on how this thing ends up. So Spidey looks great, I have to say, and that's the one Tony's rooting for. Where do you guys think Spidey should be?
I think Spidey's up with Ned.
Yeah.
An A?
Mm-hmm.
Should we do it before or after Ned?
We can't put them side by side. I think they're both.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll put them side by side.
And let's see what we got now. So Beetlejuice. What do you guys think about Beetlejuice? If I say it one more time, does he show up?
So, who? Yeah, who?
This guy.
He's not doing it. He's not doing it.
I thought Nat was gonna say it. All right. So where do you guys think he should be?
So I know I'm getting nitpicky with this, but are we going off the big images or the small images? Because the big image small image, it was tough to even see, right?
Oh, the small image is just like me putting it into tier list maker and
so go on the big image. Yeah.
Okay, then big image. I'll throw him at a B. I don't really have a dog in this fight though, so if please do not consider offense if he ends up in a different.
Are we all keeping this?
I agree.
Gentleman at B with his namesake.
Yeah. I think Pennywise should be up there with Beetlejuice as well.
Oh, he said it the third time. Oh well, it's all over.
Not in a row though.
It's
I like how his initials are BJ. If everybody said BJ 3 times in a row, he'd show up more often, right?
I know a bunch of guys who are probably saying it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the "we are the world" that we need right now, is what it is. It's the buy everyone a Coke.
Exactly. So Link already won his fight with Shredder. I mean, with not Shredder, with Goliath. So where do you guys think Link should be? I think Link looks great. So right now I might have him with an A or an S. I'm not sure.
Just for context, Link has won the competition before.
Right. He won when they made him a pin.
Yeah.
So he's like the pool guy who was acting like he doesn't know how to play pool. The hustler.
Yeah.
It's the victory lap right now he's doing.
Exactly.
Does anybody, with a bullet, know what an S is for them right now?
That's a good question.
I would have to say like S is like
top tier.
It's very hard to find someone else who even comes close to beating this person.
Well, that's kind of like Street Fighter 2 when they bring in all the extra moves like the power bars and stuff. S tier, V tier, Q tier.
So I guess that's the, because I know we kind of started off with like who's on the bottom. So I'm curious for you guys, and I don't know if I do have an answer, right? But if anyone does have an S character, like no question.
No, not for me. I don't got dogs in this fight.
I think we're eventually going to have to pick one from A and push it up.
I agree.
I have a prediction. Eventually, that's going to be Spidey, just because, and there's actually studies that prove this. Anything that looks more childlike, which is very obvious when I say it here, but rounder features, larger eyes, bigger heads, looks cuter, and everybody instinctively wants to protect it. That's why they think it's cute. Spider-Man, I think, is exactly. Forget what you're saying, Ray. Just forget that. We're going to double down on the opposite.
No, man, no.
But I think me personally, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, I think Spidey will be at the top. Just because of the bigger eyes and everything else, it's simple features.
Well, Tony will be happy to hear that. Because Tony's throwing himself completely in because this Spidey has big eyes.
I'll give you an example. Spidey versus the Flash. Spidey looks cuter because of the bigger eyes alone. They look very identical from this tiny view.
True.
But the bigger eyes makes it look more childlike.
It helps to balance out, because the thing that's messing me up about the Flash right now is that the forehead is so large, right?
And square.
And the heads are
square.
So much of the design, and not much is actually happening on that.
It's almost like the leader's wearing the Flash's cowl.
The leader?
Yeah, the Hulk's enemy.
Oh yeah.
The leader.
I gotta say though that these are called blips, which is Russ's like styles for these little things, so that means that they're supposed to have a uniform type of look. And that's why most of them have that big head.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And like if you're looking at like who is that actually benefiting more than probably Wally, Snoopy are benefiting from the big head more than anyone.
True.
I would have to. I mean, for me, I would probably say that Darth Vader is probably benefiting a ton from the big eyes.
I completely agree. And he also has that dark helmet look to him, so I feel like he's crossing two platforms.
He's got to be higher up.
Yeah, I throw him in A for now.
Throw him A for now.
Yeah, I put him in A.
It's the same thing with Shredder. I feel like he's benefiting from all this, cuteness.
So we're gonna put Shredder in A.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree.
I would say B.
I kind of lean more towards B.
All right, B it is.
Should we push the two clowns down a tier?
No.
Nah, that's
okay.
Fine.
That's fine. What about where would we put Wally? Because he fits all of the boxes that we were just talking about.
He does.
That's a tricky one, right? Because I don't think as a character he's to me, not super exciting. So I'm letting my like personal preference get in the way of putting him in an A. So
I
like
would vote B.
my gut says B on that.
Although he has big eyes, it's a little less human.
True. I mean, for some reason, like he has the sparkle in his eyes just like Vader, but Vader pulls it off better.
Yes.
So I'll start the C column as well with Flash.
I agree.
Flash is C? Okay, I can deal with that. I think Invincible would also be C as well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because I figured he'd be higher up.
Well, then that's the question of like the character itself, right?
Yeah, there we go.
And I feel like Invincible is the same level as the Flash in terms of like popularity as a character.
Even with the cartoon out right now?
I personally would say so.
Which is
actually, that depends on the generation.
Yeah, it's impressive considering the Flash has 70 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's like 17 different Flash.
Yeah.
Right. That is true. That is true. All right, so look what we got now. We got Link, Flintstone, Snoopy, and Shrek.
I would say Link in A, Snoopy in B, Freddie Flintstone in C.
Yeah.
How we
sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right. So Freddie in C.
Snoopy in B.
B.
All right, I'm going to say something unpopular. I know Shrek beat Goliath, but I do not like that Shrek. It looks, again...
There's an egghead.
Link beat Goliath.
Oh, Link beat Goliath. Oh, okay. Then I don't like Shrek. Sorry.
I think Shrek goes down in D with the rest of the guys.
You're going to put Shrek in D?
He's an ugly ogre.
Ogres have layers.
Exactly. He is
like
what
a
he
cake,
is.
Not an onion.
Shrek is what he is.
Listen, the moment we start hearing All-Star start singing, we all know he's going to start jumping up.
I'll put it this way. I'll be surprised if Shrek wins. I'll be completely surprised.
The thing about Shrek is, even though it follows the cute pattern, like even things like his horns, they're kind of malproportioned. I feel they're not placed on his head properly.
Maybe that. I mean, so again, I feel bad. I don't want to offend the guy who's doing this because we're picking it apart in a way that
don't worry. He's watching and he's crying.
It's like picking it
He's
apart.
walking in the rain so nobody sees his tears.
He probably not intend for.
I would actually put. I'm sorry because I wasn't paying enough attention. I feel bad. Well, first of all, the fact that it's the TV, I was looking at my campaign. The fact that it's the TV version of the Flash, I would say actually demotes it.
You put him lower?
I would say so because look, I like the Flash, but I mean, come on, you have all those years of history, and you're gonna put the TV one instead of like any of the comic ones or even animated ones. Come on.
This is the thing about this fight because there's a lot of components in here. Because you guys were saying it.
Now Wally, I think, deserves to be higher up personally.
Oh wow.
Snoopy, I mean, Snoopy's always cute, but Snoopy, he kind of looks like just Snoopy.
He falls flat with his tiny eyes.
Justify raising Wally. Justify raising
Well, Wally's got like the cute eyes, and it's almost like zoomed in more in a sense, so it works aesthetically. I don't know. It's compared to the rest, which one stands out the most?
You mean out of the beach here? Yeah, that's good.
Out of all of them, screw it.
So we know where Vaughn is. Vaughn thinks Wally will win it.
Well, best one overall. Best one overall. I'm gonna go with between Wally and Vader.
See, it's funny because if it goes back to what I said, it goes back to Wally and Vader.
Yep. They're the most striking ones, man. But it's also their designs lend themselves. But Spider-Man's does, but Spider-Man just doesn't hit the way Vader's does because his forehead is just huge.
See, but I feel like that hits because it's Spidey.
I'm mad because I think Goliath is the best of all of them.
I love Goliath.
I gotta admit that I
binge watched that entire season.
Goliath lost the Link.
Yeah. It's a respectable loss, but damn, it's Goliath.
The way he uses the to fill out, because a lot of these other ones, they don't like. It doesn't fill out the space as well, and then the wings are great. This is a strange one. I love that purple. That purple is an excellent purple.
Now that purple does stand out. Yeah.
That does stand out.
I gotta say, if we were judging this originally, I would have had Goliath on S.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I don't. The only reason is because it. I mean, another one I saw in the face-offs, they have Vader versus Flanders. Flanders doesn't have a chance.
Hold on, I'll put it back up. There it is. There's the face-off. So Link already beat Goliath. Right now, it's Shredder versus Snoopy, and I have a feeling that Shredder might win this one.
Agreed.
It's 50-50, so.
You got Fred Flintstone versus Bell. I definitely think Fred will beat Bell. But I have a feeling that the Bell people are going to come in and try to make her win.
Yeah, man, it's Disney people get crazy.
Oh, they do. But I find the design of Fred much better than the design of Bell. I think
there's more detail to it.
Fred is so much cuter.
I just like that 5 o'clock shadow too.
Yeah, exactly.
How it creeps past his eyes, or into his eyes, I should say.
Right, a huge part of something like this is how well did you distill the original character, and if that's the case, Fred Flintstone is a perfect distillation versus
completely, yeah.
Versus Bell, which is like okay.
These are better than Funko Pops. I mean, that's not saying a ton, but they are.
And then Spidey will beat Shrek.
Oh, definitely. Spidey's gonna beat Shrek.
I think Invincible will beat Flash. Yeah.
Yep.
Invincible will beat Flash. Yeah.
I think Pennywise will beat Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. I think Pennywise takes it.
Really? I was gonna say Beetlejuice.
Interesting.
Beetlejuice looks cool, but the whole cuteness factor, right?
I gotta say, Vader versus Flanders. Whew.
Yeah, that one's like whoever loses, the winner still loses. Like they're both
exactly. But I think that's what happened with Link versus Goliath.
And then Wally.
Yeah, Wally's
beating Burgundy. So saying all that, do we think anybody on this list right now? Because my choice for S would have been Goliath, but I right off the bat that means I would have been wrong on who would have won.
I would say I would put maybe Vader.
Well, we have the three that we've three have been voiced for S: Spidey, Vader, and Wally. Are you able to put all three up?
I agree.
1, 2, 3.
No, not Link. Spidey.
4.
I agree. I think Link should be up there, but I'm a big Link.
Yeah, actually, because I'm a big Link fan too, and actually, because it's kind of subtle, but it's kind of growing on me now.
Dude, the Link one is so cute. And I have it as a pin. I have it as a pin, and I have to say it's like really cute.
We're voting off. Are we voting off one now?
Oh no.
So you go to the story and you will vote for the one who you want to win.
Oh, okay.
Right now it's Shredder versus Snoopy. So folks, if you want Shredder to win, go vote in the stories. Or if you want Snoopy to win, go vote in the stories.
I thought you were going to say, if you want Shredder to win, go vote. If you want Snoopy, don't.
I like Snoopy, so I can't say it. So, folks, that's where we stand. We'll probably be coming back to this as it progresses. We're always wrong on who's going to win. So,
effort, the futility. Was it a exercise in futility?
Pretty much.
A couple
exercises, and I haven't heard of him in a while.
Yeah,
Trappy Chan, as he calls himself.
A couple of years ago, he did it. He did this whole thing, and he had Zim, and we were like, Zim is not going to win this, and Zim won. Invader Zim won.
You know what? It also
surprise.
I think that's great. The character itself of Zim is already a big head character.
Dude, so cute as hell.
To distill it down into the blips he called them.
Yep.
Yeah, the blips.
Yeah, to distill it, it's like it makes sense. It's a pretty 1-for-1. That's solid. Was it the Zim with the pink eyes or the human eyes?
Yeah, good question. I'm looking for it now. So as you guys talk, I'll find them. Are you gonna find them first?
Yeah, I have the collection open.
So he has bloops and he has
Big Eyes. Big Eyes is him.
Oh, no. Which color?
Pink.
Pink.
So like Alien Zim.
Yeah.
Alien Zim. So he has bloops and he has blips. Zim one as a bloop. Oh, here it is. This is the pin itself. I'll show you guys the pin itself. There.
Stop it, he had Gurr with him too. I mean, how are you going to beat that?
And that's why he won.
Pretty good.
Dude, this pin is fantastic. It's cute as hell.
That's a great one.
Yeah, Russ does a great job with these things. Like I said before, he got my character Hugbert and he made him into a blip, and he made him into a blip chip, which is the little magnets that he has. Dude, this thing is just it was interesting to see my character come to life in swag.
That's awesome. How'd you meet Russ? How'd you hear about him?
We interviewed him at one of the conventions, and we've been friends ever since. He's great. You know how they say that you as people who play RPGs, you gather your party. I've been gathering my party for years, and and if you watch the show enough, you know who's my party.
I was gonna say, meeting someone at a con and being friends with them, that doesn't sound like you at all.
Not at all.
What? Yeah, I didn't just see you at the last convention I was at.
Aiden is saying, I wouldn't count Snoopy out if he can shoot down the red bat.
This is true.
So we were talking, right? Does he have
Exactly.
his whole imaginary world, right?
Oh man. Woo. All right, so Ben, we haven't seen you in a while, so I want to start you off first. Why don't you tell the people who you are, give them the spiel, give them all the good stuff, go for it.
Right.
I gotta say, I was surprised that you went back to the Seance room.
Yeah, well, so my name is Ben Goldsmith, right there, and it's so hard to do. I write comics, and there it is. Yeah, I write comics, and so what the Seance room was the one that I've been doing now for 10 years, and we've had 8 issues. One of them, we were lucky we got to do a / crossover.
Yep.
And then Ben Templesmith did the interiors for one of them, which was so good. And I've been writing like a whole lot of other stories in the Seance room, but I just didn't have the money or like inclination right now. I mean, the comics industry is tough right now. Like even the / crossover, I don't think even made it to Diamond. Like at the end, like the whole, so it's tough. And I was thinking, like, well, why don't I just write novelizations of the short stories, right? Like,
oh, cool.
There's nothing stopping me from doing that. And then Dustin did some original art. The guy who did the art, so we did these like beautiful black and white, like pen and ink pinups. And there's new stories. There's a couple retelling, like there's 2 that are retellings of my favorites, and then actually for my last Kickstarter, someone won a tier where they got to write a story with me. So that's this book as well.
That sounds like fun.
I love that.
That was great. That was really
right on.
Cool. And
good tier.
I'm not, and it's funny because I'm not like precious about, if people want to play in that sandbox, I'm happy to let them.
I gotta say, it's a great sandbox because it gives you the vibes of the Twilight Zone, of things like that.
Yeah, you can do whatever. Like, yeah,
day in the life.
Huh?
Exactly.
Like day in the life, slice of life.
Yeah.
Every episode kind of thing.
So yeah, the idea is that there's this place kind of based off the Magic Castle in Los Angeles, and you go there, either you're meant to or you end up there by happenstance or fate. And this guy Harry, who is like a very well put together fella, he has these 6 ghosts that are all trapped there. And if you end up there, one of the ghosts comes to life, kind of forces you to face a fear or a secret, or put your metal to the fire and sees what burns or melts. And so really it can be anything, right? And And yeah, so this is a, oh yeah, those are great. That's
dude. I saw this. I was like, I was about to put it on the promo. I was like, I'm gonna save that for the show.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because so my last Kickstarter I did $10,000 and we actually made it. And this one was a super small goal because I just don't know who of the people I know are still using Facebook or like, you know, like prose as opposed to comics, right? It is a big jump. And so we have 6 tiers that are the original art, the actual original art, and they're you know, big size too. I think like 18 by 22 or 18 by 24. And so those are on there. You can actually get the original art pieces.
Nice.
And yeah, you know, it's been good, man. You know, I moved to Los Angeles recently and life has just been crazy. We just went through the fires. We were evacuated. We were, I think, less than a mile from where the fires
Jesus.
Wow.
Ouch.
Everything smells like campfire.
And dude, it's trippy because it's one of my favorite smells in the world, right? And then to like go out and be like, and then be like, oh, that's
isn't this a great smell? It means danger. Yeah, that's weird.
But so things have been a little wild, and I had this, and I was like, it exists. Why not put it out there? Even
definitely.
Right now we got 41 people, but you know what? That's 41 people who otherwise wouldn't have had this book, and I wouldn't have given it to 41 other people. Like it is an absolute unbelievable blessing to have written something and have 41 people care enough to at least own the thing, let alone read it if they do.
It's pretty awesome, man.
It's awesome. Yeah. I don't take that for granted even a little bit.
Yeah, I mean everyone's struggling numbers wise, man.
Oh, definitely. And it's a whole right now Kickstarter is having a lot of trouble. Well, the people doing Kickstarter is having a lot of trouble. So I gotta say, I'm happy you funded.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to be on this end of things with 18 days to go instead of
fighting to the bitter end.
Yeah, or having like, you know, nervous poops for like 3 weeks.
Oh my god.
Hitting the refresh
that's why I tell
button.
people, folks, help these people fund as early as possible.
Yeah.
If you don't, they spend the rest of that time dying.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Like I know, for example, like I have an Indiegogo, which that platform is. It seems like there's just a lack of interest. But I'm like, people are like, oh, like I know it's probably fun, but I just was like, even if it does fund within 30 days, there's like 7 days left. I'm like, I just add another 30 days. I'm like, I don't even like. I'll scramble to get to the printer, you know, if in time if need be, I'll send a little early. But I'm like, I just don't feel like stressing for another my third choice platform. So it's like, you know what, whatever.
I mean, it's almost like you're talking about almost like having with the Indiegogo, it sounds like the ethos is that it's almost like a ordering system, right?
Yeah.
Like if you keep it open and extend.
Well, to an extent, that's only if it goes in demand, but it has to fund first, which is why I give it a minimum goal, and then it's not hitting the minimum. And I'm like a minimal. But yeah, I mean, that's basically how they run. It's almost like a store, and same thing with Fund My Comic, which is my primary platform, right? But it's kind of like I'm running it as a tighter ship. The book's basically lettered, so I'm just like looking. Especially, I got an email of printing costs, and I'm like, come on.
Are you? I guess it depends on the numbers, but my go-to, which was recommended, was Mix'em Print.
Oh yeah, I have a printer that I want to stick with, but man, these numbers are because they want a 15% in the US.
Yeah,
I don't know. Did they not go up for Mix'em? Because I know they seem to, I think, went up across the board.
So sure. I haven't printed comics on Mix'em in a little bit. I've just been working on prose. Yeah. So it's different. But it was recommended to me about 5 years ago, and I have been a fan since.
And if that's what you've been publishing the books, your books look beautiful coming from there. So
thanks, man.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's talked about how much they love the print quality of my last book, and I'm like, I don't feel like learning another printer.
Yeah, that's a part of it too, right? Like, yeah.
I'll be comfy for you know what I mean, like. But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's a tough economy, and people, especially, have been Well, if it's a proven creator, that's why it's like, okay, get the money. But yeah, I understand as a creator. I'm good friends with Billy Tucci, and I waited till like after the initial 30 days to back his Indiegogo because I'm like, if I know of getting it, you know, I feel bad, but I'm like, shit,
I gotta say that there's times where I know I'm gonna see the person at a convention, and I'm like, I'll just buy it from you at the convention.
yeah, I get it. That's fine, but just don't expect the backer rewards. That's why
Exactly.
I add those extra incentives.
Yeah, but that's what I love about the Kickstarters is the fact that they have these, these special things that you can get. And I feel like, that you guys that do the special things, that's great. But there's guys out there that the same thing you get in the Kickstarter is the same thing you get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like for example, everyone loved these mini prints.
Oh yeah,
Sold the last of them at the last con. I have I think 3 left, and I'm like, crap, did everyone get a con?
I gotta say, and I'm gonna go look for mine right now. I gotta say that your mini prints look really good.
Yeah, this one I still have. This one is a good one because it's a double page spread from the book, so I could just be like, oh, you like this image? Well, check out the book it's from.
Yeah, I know he's showing this right now.
Yeah,
and I gotta say, folks, as a mini print, I feel like putting this on my wall.
Yeah, but a lot of people have. I would love to make a full poster of that.
I think you might have to. That might be one of the things to do for your next Kickstarter.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, because I don't have any double page spreads in issue 2 because it's 24 pages and we have a lot of ground to cover. But issue 2 will, issue 3 will. And man, how close issue 3 is depends on how well this does. But
And see, folks, that's what we tell you all the time. These people are not making money; they're just trying to make the next book.
Yeah, eventually, I'd love to make money, but that eventually is sounding more like an eventually than like a.
So Ben, I gotta say, I see you've added some new stuff to it as well. And so if you got a guy who's been following you like me from the first books, what should I be looking for in this one?
I'd say the biggest thing would be it's more gruesome because the level of detail that I can do without worrying about
prose, yeah,
versus worrying about. And the other ones were they were fairly gruesome, but like you're still considering. All right, I'm going to be at a convention. I'm going to be talking to a really wide swath of people, and at the end of the day, I'm going to want the most people to buy this book. So yeah. You do try to be a little bit more conscientious about it, but with the prose, you've already sort of narrowed your field, and there's really no reason to sort of back off after that. So the prose version of all these is a much, and I don't just mean gruesome in terms of like blood and viscera. I mean, it's emotionally gruesome too. Yeah. Like the very first, and I'm sorry, I don't want to take everyone's time here. I'm so conscientious about
good, man.
Talking about
good, don't worry.
But the first story is called Run It Again. Mm-hmm. And this dad has gone to the seance room on purpose, which I find always to be the most horrific ones because they're the ones who like are in it, right? And he is going to relive the day that his daughter fell off a building over and over again because he wasn't paying attention. He was on his phone, and he's trying to find a glimmer of hope that he could have done something different. And the ghost for that is the ghost of fortune and luck. It's the leprechaun, and he's like a 6'4" leprechaun. This is great. and just the emotional like torment that goes into it, and it ends up being a metaphor really for like people who can't get past trauma, right? Like you replay it over and over and over again, hoping to find something, but if you're replaying it, you're not living in the present anymore, and like So it's like, and then the truth is, and I'm sure Vaughn, you probably have had this experience too, where you said it perfectly earlier. You have 24 pages, more than not, right? And
yeah,
and real estate is precious.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would have loved to have done another beautiful 2-page spread in issue 2, and like you have to make those tough decisions. So when you do prose, every page can be a 2-page spread. The detail and
you're painting the picture with your words.
Yeah, I was just writing some prose earlier back and like I'm actually doing a short story collection. I'm still accepting submissions for a horror thing, and I was actually writing a story from the Phenomenova universe, but like from the perspective of people getting hunted by an anti-hero. And so that was doing it as a prose. When I try and write in a different medium, I try to take advantage of the medium, like getting back to your point. So I majored in screen filmmaking, primarily screenwriting. And when I started writing comics, I started going, well, why does this not work? And I really maybe comics work like this works like this. And then as I'm writing prose, I'm like, prose, I can't do I can do so much. I could do these trains of thought that are like in my head, but I could just write them down. And I go, yeah, it flows on the page. But if I were to write that down to my artist, it'd be like, all right, so what do you want me to draw? You just gave me this dribble. You know,
I've had that happen a couple of times.
Like, I've done that before. And my artist,
this is pretty rough, but what you want me to do?
But yeah, so that long answer there for what's the biggest difference people can expect.
I don't know. That was a good answer, actually. You know, and it kind of works into why you should get the Seance room. And you know, if you guys got the comic book, then I feel like you want to get this because anytime anybody's doing prose, it kind of fleshes it out more. Yeah. It's the same thing when you read the book and you watch the movie. The book is so much better usually than the movie because the book actually fleshes out everything.
Well, and there's only 2 stories that were repeated from the comics. All the others are brand new that were never in the comics too. So
good too. Like I was writing a story again for a character I wanted in my comics, and I immediately from the gate was like, this is a prose story. I'm going to write it as a prose. If I ever adapted it, I guess I'd adapt it, but I'm just writing as if I never do it in a comic. I think a lot of the time people write in a medium with the intention of throwing it up, right? Oh, well, this will be that. And it's like, I'm just writing this. If this never gets adapted, if I have the chance to write this character again, I'll just write a different story in a comic. Right. Yeah. And I think people need to realize like some stories are best told in one medium. Like,
I agree.
You know, and I'm not saying if I did like I would often think of when I'd read stories or I'd listen to audio versions, you know, often when I'm in the car, I'd be like, man, this is how I depict this. And you realize you immediately just inherently will lose stuff in translation, which makes both versions more valuable. And that's kind of what drives me crazy when people are like, oh, you should change things from the book change fundamental story elements from the book or from the comics because that way people don't expect it. It's like, well, no, because inherently by virtue of one being a film and one being a comic or one being a thing, there are changes. You don't need to fundamentally change the story because inherently by virtue of that, there are going to be changes anyway.
Yeah. I mean, essentially what you're describing is if you and a person were about to take a fight and you put the camera behind one and then you put the camera behind the other, it's the exact same thing, but it is 2 completely different versions.
Exactly.
Right.
So
exactly.
So Vaughn, tell the people what you're waxing poetically about here. Tell them what Phenomenova is. Go for it.
So Phenomenova is my ultimate love letter to the superhero genre and comic books as a whole. It is a superhero story set 20 years after World War III. In my world, superheroes fought during the war, and now we have the next generation of superheroes rising up. In the first issue, we saw Galvanite try and strike out and be a superhero after he got his superpowers and failed. And now in this issue, we see one of the veteran superheroes who fought during the war is taking him under his wing to train him with the hopes of one day putting him as part of a team of superheroes. But in this issue, we're focused on his training.
Oh, that looks like a how do you pronounce it? Yannick Paquette?
Yannick Paquette? Oh, yeah, it's not him, but it's
no, but the cool. Composition and everything looks very super rad. That's a great idea, man. I like the idea that they actually did fight in the war and it's over and it's like the huge fallout from that. That's rad.
Yeah, basically I wanted to show what's the thing people are so scared of and to show the power of superheroes that they prevented the apocalypse in World War III. basically it's like showing the power of superheroes. You know, there's so much stuff now where I feel like where everything's so cynical. And I didn't want that. I wanted this as like a very idealistic depiction of superheroes, while also showing the hardships of it. You know, he gets his powers and he's like, oh, I could stop a heist at a nuclear reactor. And he's like, no, idiot. And now this issue is him. They're smacking him around a bit. They're letting him know, hey, you're a good kid. We got to set you on the right path. You might have to take some beatings, but we'll get you there.
Like right here. See? Whack.
Yeah, right there.
Whack. Whack. I gotta say, I really like Phenomenova. It has that classic feel of old comic books, but at the same time doing something different with it. And that's why, folks, you should pick this up.
Yeah, the first issue is 65 pages story, 68 pages total. You can get that right now. Actually, yeah, you could read the first 10 pages even on Global Comics, and if you like, you can get it. You can even get the $5 PDF if you want it right away, or you could order it from my website. Or, of course, you can back it here and they can arrive together. The issue 2 is basically printer ready. We just need some help with getting the funds. But obviously anyone who does helps. And the thing about it being on multiple platforms, you guys are working together. So if we hit the goal across all the platforms combined, everyone gets the goals.
I gotta say, Vaughn, I love that you do that, because now it gives people incentive to support it on different platforms.
Yeah, well, and also shows you guys are all part of the same team, dude. If you're like, if you're not getting penalized for liking this platform more than a different one,
exactly.
You know.
I also appreciate that it's already. I mean, I know this is the toughest part because it's one of the biggest financial burdens is actually the making of a thing. But for someone who is also a backer of Kickstarters as well as a maker of them, the fact that it already exists and all it has to do is go to print. I mean, you've cut out so much of the amount. Like, how many times have you gotten emails? Well, sorry guys, we had an artist drop out, and it's like back the thing goes to print, get the thing.
Exactly. And I gotta say that it was pretty quick that I got the book after the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I hope to have fast turnaround times, which is why obviously I wanted which is why I say the 20K goal is issue 3 greenlit, which means we could start moving. Now, how fast and how far we can move with that, I'm not sure. But I will say, because there's an issue, the next issue preview, I included the issue 3 cover as well as some of the character designs as part of the issue 2 budget, because you have to see it at the end. So my hope is that if we can raise a certain amount, we can get a faster turnaround time for 3. But regardless, 3 is written. But 2 is right here and 1 is right here. So like I said, faster.
Vaughn, how much are you charging for the tier for, like, if someone just wanted to get just the comic?
Just the, well, which are talking physical or digital?
Physical.
For just issue 2?
Yeah.
For just issue 2, it's going to be $10 plus 10 shipping.
Pretty good.
And then for, if you want to catch up, it's 10 plus 20 for issue 1. Issue 1 is 20. Issue 2 is 10 because issue 2 is much shorter. It's a 24-pager. I wanted a giant size first issue, kind of like giant size X-Men or how New Mutants started in that big. But yeah, it's 10 if you want to just get the physical issue 2.
Which is a great price and easy to pick up. Yeah, folks, and it's all the covers. And there's the catch up. $30.
$30, yep.
Which is what you pay for one book in some of these.
Yeah, no, I didn't want that. I wanted and I wish I could make it even cheaper, but you know, I was looking at
that's the goal. That's what we always go for, and that's what.
Well, that's why I digital, man. I got digital.
I mean, the thing people don't realize, like I said, the last one I did was 10 different media have different strengths. Yeah. I $10,000. We went a little bit over for the last one. I still went into my pocket to actually finish. Everything out like that. I mean, this I will say, like, one of the best things about Prose, and Vaughn, maybe next one for you, man, is that, like, my overhead on Prose is like, it's my time. It's my time.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing. I'm like, oh my God. I get to just actually picture this in my head. I don't have to think about, and like even when I write comic scripts, I'm like, what if they want to draw it differently? What, like now I'm trying to get more relaxed, just letting my artists do their thing. I don't know if you used to do this. I used to overwrite some descriptions.
Oh, definitely.
Well,
that's what I was saying earlier.
Man, my overhead is going to be so much lower. It's going to be so nice. It's going to be so nice. I can't wait.
I've been trying to make my book happen for ages, and it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of stuff that needs to get done. And then here comes We Suck at Comics, and they're like, "Hey, Ralph, why don't you write a prose piece for us?" And then we just put it into our book, and it was so much more relaxing to get the prose out, and then have a friend of mine go, here's an art piece.
So you know what, guys? I think we're gonna have to stop talking about this because then other people are gonna figure it out. I don't want that to happen.
Oh my God. So folks, I just mentioned it. We Suck at Comics. It is out right now. If you ever wanted a written Writ Ralph piece, I am not publishing. Well, I probably will publish sooner or later, but it ain't happening anytime soon. So if you ever wanted a written Ralph piece, here is your chance. We suck at comics because, of course, we do suck at comics. You've heard the conversation. We suck at comics, and that's why we're trying to get better at it. So go support it. We Suck at Comics. A nice little written Ralph piece. This is an anthology. It has a bunch of different stories, so you're not just going to get something from me. You will get a lot of different pieces here. It's a great book, and on top of that, you'll get a Shadow Rabbit art piece attached to my story. And of course, Shadow Rabbit does the clay figures, so this is the first time he's doing an art piece, putting it out there.
It's cool. What's your story about in it?
My story is about the gods of the Caribbean having a kind of war, and a girl gets stuck in the middle of all this. So Taino gods are all doing their thing, having their own little thing happening, and a certain lady ends up getting stuck in the middle of everything just because she's at the right place at the right time. Can't say it's the wrong place at the wrong time because she lives because somebody steps in.
Maybe the wrong place at the right time.
Maybe it is the right place or the wrong place at the right time. Yeah, because if it wasn't for this god in particular, she wouldn't be with us anymore.
It's not. I'm not saying this because one is derivative of the other or anything. But have you ever seen the musical Once on This Island?
I don't think I've seen that one.
So.
No, I'm the only musical nerd here. Cool, whatever.
So what's the musical about?
Something similar. But it's definitely a fun one. It was done by Ahrens and Flaherty, the people who did Seussical, and I know I'm missing the more important one. Than I'm sure no one's mad about it anyway. But yeah, and the music's really catchy too. It's if it ever comes around to you, you might as well see it. It's a good one.
See, we give you a lot of suggestions here, people. Now go watch some musicals.
Come for the comics, stay for the musicals.
I love musicals, so I'm always gonna tell people to go.
What's your favorite there?
My favorite musical, the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, killer! Just killer, dude. Classic.
Phantom of the Opera is a good one. I saw that one live in the Pantages Theater in Toronto.
I've seen it live on Broadway. Yeah. Oh, and they're bringing it back, and they're doing some different things to it. So I can't wait to see what the different things are. I was sad when it went because I was like, no, this thing should be on Broadway all the time. What the hell are you guys taking it out there for? But if they took it away to bring it back better, then we'll see what happens.
Death of Superman.
I think it's cool to bring some. I mean, it costs a lot of money to put a Broadway show on, so sometimes taking
exactly
rough. But it's like bringing back Superman in a black suit. Like, do it. See what happens. Like, the character's great. It already exists, and you're not gonna fuck it. I mean, you could fuck it up, but like
you could fuck it up. just look at most Fox movies.
Tweeting about that.
Dude, I always get pissed off with the Fox movies because you figure you got the source material. It's award-winning stuff, and I understand you got to make the movie differently, but if you take the characters that are supposed to be in this book or in this story and go, we don't need those characters. We can make them about everybody else.
Let's make Mystique lead the X-Men over. She's giving Cyclops and Storm orders. Are you kidding me? Come on.
You can't do the Phoenix Saga without the Cyclops and Jean Grey, which they've done it twice now. The Phoenix Saga without Cyclops and Jean Grey.
Oh, Cyclops and Jean Grey were in the last one.
No. They were in it, but they weren't the stars of it. The whole the Phoenix Saga is really about the love that they share with each other, and this is how the universe is saved.
I barely even remember that stupid movie. It was so bad.
We don't talk about Fight Club.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't even talk about the movie. You know what's the worst part? My first X-Men movie was X-Men 3.
That's harsh.
I liked it, and then I watched the other ones. I was like, wait a minute.
Hold on now. Let's go
I was
back.
like, wait a minute. That guy they killed off in like the opening is actually like a crucial character.
Yes.
And now he's like my favorite X-Men character. I love
Mr.
Cyclops.
Summers. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. And then a lot of writers don't get that. Or they go, let's
they don't give him enough love. They always
Dude, I saw a recent panel where he like threatens someone in a like terroristic way. I was like, oh my God.
Wait, this is truly a rare thing where this many people agree that Cyclops is a cool character.
Dude,
Never had this many people.
I was so happy that X-Men 97 showed him the way I remembered him.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Heroic Cyclops, the leader of the X-Men, the Captain America figure for the X-Men, because people forget that this guy was this pillar. He was a good guy.
Yeah, I liked him in House of M when everybody's in this distorted reality and they want to recruit Steve Rogers, but his wish was to never have lived outside of his time, so he's an old man in modern times. But they end up using Scott Summers and who else to lead this Freedom Force. But anyway, Scott Summers was right in the front of the pack there.
Yeah,
because he's a great tactician. He is arguably an excellent leader, but everybody kind of puts him to the wayside.
It's the foible of the reliable character, right? Like it's the he's so reliable and he's such a bedrock of a character that people forget that it's not pretty, but it is incredibly crucial.
Yep.
I gotta say, like, I also feel like, what ends up happening, especially in comics, is that you get haters that will do these stories.
There's no haters in comic communities.
Dude, I never understand. Like, I hate this character, and they'll go do a full story run with the character in a book, and I'm like, why
destroy him?
Just to destroy the character. Leave the character alone. You don't like him?
I'm trying to think of like if there's a character I don't care about, I'd just be like, yeah, I just probably won't worry. I mean, it depends. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, normally, I feel like a lot of great writers will take characters they don't love and find something to love about them, and then elevate that.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Like there are characters. Like, I'd love to write characters that I just think have potential and are just not there, and then kind of elevate them. Like, there are characters like that. But there are people that I feel like just write characters into the ground.
Oh, definitely.
For no reason.
Character assassinations.
Yeah, character assassin. I personally, that's why I didn't like House of Powers of X. I know a lot of people liked it. I liked it when I first read it, and I'll tell you why. I've talked about this before. I knew there was going to be some reveal that the X-Men were mind controlled or something like that, because I was like, this is just not how the X-Men act. This is so cool. I can't. And then I was like, oh, they're not mind controlled. I was like, that's not the X-Men. They wouldn't do that. They're segregationists. I was like, that's. And I get that they were like, well, that's a whole commentary. I'm like, I don't care.
They took a note out of T'Challa's books, Krakoa Forever.
Yeah, it's like, okay, but that's Black Panther is like a nationalist, right? Like, that's his thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not the X-Men's thing.
Yeah, the X-Men to flip the script
like
that. We can coexist in
harmony.
And
that was another to flip side. That was another problem I kind of had with Black Panthers. They were like, Black Panther was like doing this, like, maybe I shouldn't be a nationalist, and it felt like they were putting their values onto. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter what you want. Like, Black Panther is that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, he wouldn't be like, let's open the board. I feel like he'd be like, no. Because that's who he is. You don't have to agree with him. Like, if I were to write someone else's character, my job is to, as best I can, check my values here, where I can comment on them, but keep the characters in check. And I just feel like a lot of writers don't do that.
I agree completely. You know, that's why you get all these character assassinations like Superman and Spider-Man and Batman.
Yeah,
you get these people that don't like these characters, and then they're writing these characters, and they'll never tell you that they don't like the characters. Oh no, this is just my take on the character. Like no, you're trying to disassemble the character.
Well, and that's why like Zack Snyder, his and people are always defending like his take on Batman, and I'm like, dude, he's had 8 different defenses that contradict each other. Oh, we're different universe. Oh, but Batman does kill in The Dark Knight Returns, but it doesn't matter if he does anyway because I still change. Like he'll be like, I changed it, but also it was always like this. But also, it makes more sense if Batman does it. But also, like, and it's like, dude, you just not like Batman? Well, I like Batman, but I like different parts of Batman. It's like, so I just don't get it.
Zack Snyder's biggest problem is he wanted to have, and I've said this in a couple other podcasts, he wants all of it in one movie. So the best way to explain this, if he was in charge of the first Iron Man movie in 2008, by Iron Man 2, he would have assembled all the Avengers and they would have been fighting Thanos already.
Yeah.
That's his problem. So I want Batman, but I want him retired, but I want him to meet Superman at the first time. But you know what? Let's have him kill people as well. And you know what? For some reason, they didn't let me the writers didn't allow me to incorporate lightsabers, but somehow I'm going to get it in there. And like I'm going to put, it's like the kid that gets to go to their own Sunday bar and they throw in every topping possible and they're disappointed.
That's good. Yeah, that's another thing. How about we face an intergalactic threat, but let's not have Green Lantern on the team. You have like 4, like how many of them to choose from? You can't, like, he's the easiest character
show one
to
in the
explain.
flashback.
But he's the easiest one to like, because all the other ones you have to. All right, how do we get the King of Atlantis on board?
Go.
Okay, like King of Atlantis is a stretch, right?
That's that. He's like, hey, you remember the opening of Lord of the Rings? I loved it. I'm going to do that too.
Yeah, and a Justice. Also, I remember when they announced it. And to be fair, I guess I haven't read enough Justice League comics, right? Like, I'd love to read some runs, but when they announced Steppenwolf as a movie, I was like, "Who is Steppenwolf? Oh, he's the underling." Like, imagine if for like the first Avengers movie, they had like one of Thanos's guys as the main villain. That's basically what they did. Like, Steppenwolf is not like it should have been. If you're not going to do Darkseid, then have someone like, I don't know, like Brainiac or
Steppenwolf was the right idea, just not well enough known by the casual fan.
Exactly.
So Steppenwolf, I get it. Okay, it's an underling of Darkseid, but I get what you're saying. There should have been something a little bit more noteworthy to draw on star power to get more fan interest.
You know what? We can't have Green Lantern because he has too much color, and the movie's not allowed to have that. Let's have a bright, glowing green light. Let's make the Flash. Let's make his bright yellow lightning. Let's make it blue.
You know what? Instead of the Green Lanterns, we'll go straight to the Death Corps. All Black Lanterns. Now it fits.
There you go.
There you go.
They're already dead.
I'm surprised they didn't do that.
Dead.
Everything's death.
I can see that right now.
Because if Zack Snyder actually cared about comics, he would have found that and been like, yes, death. And then, like, okay, I hate those movies so much. Like, I hate those movies. And they're also pseudo-intellectual movies is another problem I have with them too. They're like they think they're smart and they're incredibly unintelligent films. They're very dumb. And they're like talking about. I remember watching the Snyder Cut and people were talking about it like it's some great movie, and I'm like, this is not an intelligent film.
There wasn't enough cut out.
Why was there a whole scene where the Flash is in a pet shop? And then
hot dogs,
and there's hot dogs, and I'm like, I can't why does Lois Lane go to get a cup of coffee in a slow-mo scene? And I'm like, how? If you were given a Justice League movie, I can't even imagine writing scenes is pointless.
And filming them, like going through the whole process of actually spending a lot of money and time.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. What did Barry Allen have in common with Barry Allen? Because he wasn't a forensic scientist, right? He was applying for a job at like a pet shop or something. He wasn't personality-wise like Barry.
No, they made him like he had.
He didn't look like Barry. Okay, but
fast. There you go.
And to add, excellent segue. By the time the Justice League assembles, Barry has already tapped into the Speed Force and altered time.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, build up to that. Like my comic book.
Another example of taking so much of like end tier points. There's nowhere to go from there. There's nowhere where, okay, Batman's old and retired. Well, he's not going to be in the game much longer, but we're going to now start the Justice League.
Oh, well, it's a good thing we have a Robin to... Oh, we don't have that either.
No, killed him off.
Oh, we could have... it's like Flash... I mean, yeah, that's with my comic. I really wanted to build up to it. Like issue 2, he has his training uniform he's getting. He's still learning his powers. He's still not there yet, and now he has to join it. He's still barely even ready to join the title team of the book. I haven't even introduced the title team because I want to build up to it. I'm doing the reverse of what Zack Snyder did because I'm, better. But look, it's like, it's so bad, man. It's so bad, and
it's definitely not Batman. But it's so bad, man.
That's good.
I don't know, man.
Thank you.
Ray, how do you feel about that one?
Which one?
The one you said there, the Batman.
Oh,
I'm impulsive, so I didn't actually feel anything about it. I just said it because it was the first thing that came to mind. I apologize. I'll do the Canadian thing and apologize.
Oh my God.
I think you have a good point there, Vaughn, of something that Zack Snyder, which we all kind of said but didn't actually, and you seem to be doing it with your book. Have the characters suck at the start. Mm-hmm. Have somewhere there where they can grow from.
Mm-hmm.
And in my book, they're not the mightiest. The Madcaps, the 4 of them, they're not the greatest in the realm. And in the first issue, 3 of them almost get killed off and they're saved by guards. So that's kind of insulting to be like the main character of a book and you're saved by like street police, essentially. You can work with that. When somebody of that caliber pulls off a win that is significant, you want to know how they pulled off that win because it's plausible they should have or could have lost and they didn't. Tell me more. I'm interested. Everybody loves underdog stories or people that don't start off as the best, and how did they go from, I don't want to say 0 to hero per se, but how did they refine themselves to get to an upper echelon of capability?
And take your time to get there too, right?
Yeah, Mr. Snyder's just like, they're already good. Let's start killing them off. That's a good origin story, right? Oh, there's the Madcaps right there. How about that?
Tell the people good stuff about what you've got.
Sure.
You're not ready to go, but we want people to sign up to get notified. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Medieval Fantasy, this is a 3-issue miniseries. Issue 1 and 2 will be available. We're launching April 1st. It is not an April Fool's joke, but we will be launching on April Fool's. And it's 4 friends. They meet up in their hometown. There's an undead outbreak, which they help stave off. And they are inclined to believe that the undead outbreak has something to do with a local drug issue. Now, I've had a couple people ask this question. This is not like a drug PSA or anything like that. There just happens to be drugs in the story. And these 3 individuals, none of them are human. You know what? Are you okay if I share my screen?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see more.
I'll show some of the cover art. So that's one of them there. That's Madrakis. He is a descendant of a giant kaiju-like electric eel known as the Great Stormworm. Here's all 4 of them here. This is the main cover. It's the line work's done by Kenny Calderon, and it's colored by Dan Kemp. Dan Kemp's colored over 100 issues of Spawn. He has Marvel Knights back in the 2000s era, Amazing Spider-Man, just around the Civil War era. I think it's a beautiful piece. This depicts a scene in issue 2 where they're actually going to be going into some guarded territory where they have a lead on where this potentially where there's a distributor for this drug known as Weave. I've got 3 other covers currently I can share. Here's one. It's going to be metal foil. It's a stained glass image. The dwarf Sarlacc. Another scene in this second issue where he finds a critical book in the place they're investigating. It's actually pretty tense, this issue, in regards to gravity and almost nail biter. We'll put it that way. A lot of showing and not telling per se. This was done by Jenna Stark and also colored by Dave Kemp, Dan's brother. I think when the metal foil is put on this, it's really going to pop. I think it's going to look really, really nice.
I think it's a very smart thing to do, stained glass with the metal.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I was very impressed the way Jenna made the bloom of the logo actually spread out to make it look like a sun ray. I thought that was really, really cool. Yeah, the image speaks for itself. And then we also have, this is a better look at what you see on the Kickstarter page, the pre-launch. This is Madrakis. He's using his arcane abilities to pull Earth upward, as you can see in the foreground there. Again, another scene in the comic. I try to make the covers reflect the issue as opposed to false advertising. Don't get me wrong. All the power to people that do that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's just really cool art and they want it on the cover, but I wanted to give it real relevance. If you think of something like 1960s Amazing Spider-Man, one issue that really stands out in my mind is you don't know it, but Peter Parker loses his memory and Doc Ock convinces him to rob a bank with him. So on the cover, it shows Spidey and Doc Ock breaking out of a bank. And then it says, why is Spidey working for the bad guys? Well, get into this issue and find out why. And I wanted the imagery of my covers to reflect that. I wanted it to be like, yeah, you're getting the you can judge this book by its cover. Like if you see this, you're going to read about it as well. This was done by Rod Ramos Rodolfo from Brazil, also colored by Dan Kemp. I'm really happy with how that turned out. I think it's just a stellar piece. One of the cool things about Madrakis here being a descendant of a giant kaiju like electric eel is he can store up lightning in his gizzard and vomit it at will, which is really cool. He also has a cool blade that has the blade itself of the sword is purple. It's a mix of like obsidian, silver, and a couple other things. It helps him amplify his arcane ability, and he's got some other cool stuff. He's like 6.5 feet tall, 350 pounds. And the most impressive or intimidating thing about him is actually his mind. In a lot of hero books, especially, usually the big guy of the group is some oafish meat shield that's usually good for taking bullets up front and nothing more. And this guy is definitely not that. I wanted to break that mold with this character. And you definitely start to see a little bit more of that in this issue, even more so than the first issue. And I believe I have one more cover. Oh, yes. Oh. Okay, so this is Jay Sloan, rather, did the line work, and Dave Kemp colored this. This is Chazgo. He's a blue-skinned elf, and Chazgo is... the reason he has blue skin, they're a rare form of elf known as Arger. They live in a mountain range that's riddled with silver deposits, and this actually happens in real life with human beings. They, if you're exposed to enough silver, especially if you eat it or ingest it, it actually tattoos your skin cells blue.
Wow!
And there's a guy on Oprah who is very famous. He literally looks like Papa Smurf. It looks fake. It's not. But because this is fantasy, these type of elves also, with all the silver running in their veins, they have a resistance to magic. They actually believe worshiping the mountain gives them these blessings to help them protect them from magic, but it's actually just the element of silver that they've been exposed to for so long. Chazgo, his people he viewed as dysfunctional. They look at spell casting as almost an abomination. They're very anti-magic. Mercenaries, mages, they all steer clear of this mountain range. And because of that, like kids stories, like bedtime horror stories, they'd be based off of this type of people. They're almost xenophobic, if you will, or I don't know if I guess nationalists would apply, like Black Panther, like we were talking about. But the coolest thing about this is Chazgo, not a fan of his own people, but if he were to leave the mountain range, people would kill him on sight. They have a really bad reputation. He was visited by a being known only as a net that was able to bypass the silver in his body and give him some magical gifts. The most notable one is he's able to hide his appearance. So he lives in Ivywood, and he's actually the representative of a noble, and nobody knows who he actually is, which is kind of cool. In this issue, the significance of this cover is the three-eyed albino crow on his shoulder there. His name is Emix, and it's the first time it's introduced into the story. So when I told Jay all of this stuff, the body language really sells it for me. You don't know if he's sad or just deep in thought. And I think for a person who's very lonely on different fronts, he's either sad and his pet is keeping him company, so it kind of throws that off, or he's just thinking real hard, milling about his thoughts. And when you combine that with the color, I think it really is a statement of a cover. I'm really happy how this one turned out.
Very good. I didn't realize you were publishing under Philbo. That was my first 10-pager was under him.
Oh, right on. Yeah, Phil.
It's always funny when I got you both on the show because I'm like, yeah, they're both Philbo guys.
Yeah. I just actually leaked my first 10-pager. Not leaked it. I released it for free on Global Comics because I was like, I'm not doing anything with it at the moment. What is the worst case can do? Gain traction.
Yeah. Right on. And I guess the only thing I'll show, I had this on the first Kickstarter. I'm going to be selling it again. This is a pinup. This was done by Sean Langley, colored by Dan Kemp, and that's the four of them just repelling off a zombie horde. You can get this in both color and black and white. For black and white is an add-on, or sorry, you can get the color one for I don't have the price in front of me because I'm still putting together the campaign, but for an extra $5 you can get a black and white copy as well.
That's cool. Sean used to work with my buddy Stan Konopka.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And again, I say again.
Talented guy.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how that one turned out. I really like I think the thing I liked with Dan's coloring to complement it, Sean does a good job with detail, and in order to not get lost in the detail, Dan made the horde all kind of not quite one color, but the way he color coded all of the zombie horde takes attention off of them and puts the focus back on the four, which I really, really like.
It does it really well because the four are in the middle with the color, and everything else is like in a hue of blue. Yeah.
Yes. But all in all, I'm really happy with how this story is going. This is my first time on the creative side of a comic, this mini-series. I'm having a lot of fun, a lot of good experiences. I just needed to express this and get it off my chest. So here we are, one more comic, one more issue after this one. And most likely I'm going to go the trade paperback route. I've got some... I wish I could talk more about this. It's torture.
Well, the good thing is we're going to have Ray on the show a couple more times, so you guys can get teased all the times he comes.
And the last thing I'll say about it, and I know everybody mentions this dynamic, it's in pre-launch. If you click on follow, even if you have no intention, you will be helping out somebody who's self-driving this. You're giving somebody else a chance by swaying the algorithm in your favor. Yeah, there it is there.
Yeah, I did it.
And thanks, man. Appreciate it. And one of the other cool things about this is when you back a new story, if you have something from something that's indie, it's mentally stimulating in the regard of you're not expecting certain things. No expectations. You can actually be surprised for a change. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also, there isn't 3, 4, 5, 6 decades of lore to catch up on to actually understand what the heck's going on in this. You can actually just go in with a fresh mind and be entertained by it and not be asking your friends, what am I missing here? You can actually just watch it and enjoy, or read it in this case, rather, and enjoy it.
The only thing you're missing is if you don't get it.
That's right. So, lots of different variant covers. There's going to be 5 total. One will be revealed, I want a week, but it might be 2 weeks from now. It's going to be drawn by Russ Leach from the UK, colored by Dan Kemp. It's the only one that doesn't have its own individual cover is done in Eni. So I'm really excited. The little guy with the hammer, that is. I'm really excited to get that one up and showing to the public. It's just a really nice one. Just like the rest of them. I'm just really happy. It's coming together really good. The only delay we have is Victor Medina, who's doing the interiors this time. We have a minor delay due to the LA fires, but he's full bore now, and it's all getting churned out. It's really good.
He's out here too.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey Ray, how'd you come up? What's Chazgo? What is it? Where'd that name come from?
Ooh,
Chazgo?
Yeah.
It's actually all 4 of those characters are based off of people I know, and Chazgo is actually a corruption of another person's name.
Cool.
See, that's how it always happens. That's what I tell people: don't piss off writers because they'll kill you over and over and over.
His full name is Chazgo Blundale. That's
I love it, Chazgo.
Yeah, Chazgo Blundale, the blue-skinned elf.
As long as Chaz don't go postal on you for making him a character, that's
no. These are the good guys, right? So if anything, I would be honoring these individuals accordingly.
So one more thing to talk about, and I'll use your our pad Chad here.
Yes.
Yeah, because you have a tier on yours, and he has it on his, and I'm going to show it right now, where you can actually play a session of D&D as one of your characters. So it'll be you playing one of your characters in a session of D&D with a bunch of other people playing one of their characters. Dude, it's fantastic. I did it already. With Chad, and I did it with DMRAY, and I was going to do it with Chad, but Nat got to do it with Chad, and he was the vending machine.
Yes, he played a self-powered vending. Yep. Yes, and it was amazing. It was nothing short of amazing. Vaughn, I
knew you were going to do the noise.
Vaughn, I think your character would make a good a storm sorcerer. If you were to play, I think that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, so folks, here's the.
I've never gotten into D&D, but it's one of those things that I would probably.
It's great for storytelling.
Yes,
I tell people all the time, if you want to flesh out your writing, get into role playing games because this thing has helped me out so much with my writing.
It puts you into scenarios where I never thought of this with my character, and
exactly.
Have to act it out. So, well, I guess this is what my character would do. I never thought of this yet. It's really nice. Folks,
it's you play with Michael Tausen, who's a professional DM, and he's fantastic. I love how he so easily works your character into the one shot that he's working. You know, the true sign of a good DM. And it is just so much fun, and just the ability to play one of your characters from one of your books. I have to say that I learned a lot about the character that I played, and it actually made me see the character in a different way so I can write him better.
And for $30, that's a really smart tier.
Yeah,
you can probably charge more for that.
Yeah. I gotta say, he probably could. And like I said, it's really enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. Tarzan knows what he's doing. Usually you end up with a good group of players, and all of them are creators. So folks, there you go. And you get a chance to do it here with Chad, and then you get a chance to do it again with Ray when he unleashes his book.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate everyone who backs. It really does mean, it means a lot. And I know it's not easy, it's always a lot of work. I know that. To make campaigns, but also going through and backing. There's so many people ask for. I'm even just scrolling through and I'm like, damn, my competition's good. Like I'm just like, I was mindlessly like, well, I was listening to the conversation, but I was scrolling through and I'm like, man. Also, a lot of hot chick books. I'm like, maybe that was the main reason I was looking through. Is I'm like, should I just bite the bullet and put her? But I have a cute chick on the. I'll wait a week and then I'll change it. Anyway, Yeah, I mean, I really do mean a lot, especially if you take the time out of your day in the midst of all these people to give me or any of these people money. It really does.
Oh, not me. I actively disdain anyone who supports me.
No, yeah.
You get angry at yell at them when they back
Why
you.
did you back? Really? You backed me?
Yeah,
of all people?
I
How
find
dare you?
something really specific about them and then just hammer it home.
Ben, have you ever watched the TV show Frasier, the spin-off of Cheers?
Yeah.
I've heard of it. Yes.
Okay, so there's one episode where the two brothers decide they want to make a restaurant, and the father's listening to them like make their plans. Well, you know what? We won't even advertise. We will do everything possible to make it that much more exclusive and alluring. And the father says, "Why don't you put snipers on the roof to try and shoot the people that try to make their way in?" You know? That's you yelling at people that are trying to back your product. How dare you? You know?
So Ben, one more time, tell the people where they can find you. All the good stuff. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, before I do that, I want to. Now I'm thinking I need to add a tier where I just dress you down, like as an add-on. And it's funny. I'm actually like a wicked sweetheart of a person. I wouldn't do that unless paid me to. I'm a dominatrix as a writer. Okay, so you can find me on Instagram, Mr. Ben AU, and you can definitely back the Seance Room novel, much like Vaughn there, and like kind of where Ray's almost sounds like this. It's already done. It exists. I have a copy of it right here. I should have gotten it up before. It already exists. So all you have to do is jump in and it's yours.
That's always a good thing, folks. When it's ready to go, that means you get it really quickly.
Right on.
There you have it, folks. Go check it out. Go check him out. Ben is a great guy, and we're always looking forward to see him when we see him at the cons.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Anytime, bro. Dude, you can come back and guest host. You know that. Vaughn, why don't you tell the people where they can find you? All the good stuff. Go for it.
Yeah, so you could find me on Twitter. You could find me on Facebook, Instagram. You could find me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Vaughn Coleman. I go live often to talk about comics or whatever. Lately, I just I'll go off the cuff, make videos talking about X-Men, really whatever I feel like. Sonic movie was really good, so I've been just making theories about where I think the fourth is going to go. That's all my YouTube. A lot of my creative outlet that isn't comic books you can find on there. But you can find me on Kickstarter right now, obviously. And that's it, basically. All my socials. Just look up my name. You can find me. And follow me on Kickstarter. And back this book if you can. And also my website, RebelOasisStudios.com. You can check that out, too. And join my email list.
A lot of places for you guys to go find them.
Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Ray, go for it.
You could find me, get Facebook out of the way first. Facebook, you can find me as DM Ray. DM is short for Dungeon Master. My comic has a lot of tabletop RPG and medieval fantasy influence. You can also find my Madcaps Facebook page. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on what I like to call Twixter. They're both under the alias of Raymond the DM. DM Ray was taken. I don't have any other socials of significance. I'm looking into maybe TikTok. We'll see. But
yeah, I have that too. I forgot that.
Tickety Talk.
Tickety tockety stuff.
But the big one, if anything else, this pre-launch right here, you will know as soon as you are, as soon as this is live, rather, you'll be able to see all the cool stuff. I've got some really cool add-ons that I have to be real hush-hush about right now. But I promise you that it's worth looking at twice, at least. When it goes live, you're going to watch it, sleep on it, look at it again. But I promise you there's some cool stuff. It's worth the time of looking at, that's for sure. But yeah, definitely follow this. And we'll be looking forward to finally showing number 3. I've actually gotten far enough on the production of this that I have 3 covers for issue 3 already done.
Damn.
So I
tell you, folks, Nobody's making money. They're just trying to plan in the next book.
And you were talking about torture. Well, I gotta sit on that for X amount of time, right? Like this is just brutal. I've shown 2 people all 3 of those covers, and they're like, "Wow, that's really good." And I'm like, "This is just brutal, man." That's all I can say about it. Nobody can look at it.
Oh man, and
definitely looking forward. So sit tight and stay tuned. April 1st is just around the corner.
Right, so don't be an April Fool and go follow.
I just did the notify of launch for you, man.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
The numbers count.
Thank you very much.
Folks, our friend Meta Sorcier is busy doing her thing. Of course, she's busy because she does the writing, the art, the lettering. She does everything herself. So, folks, this is Sacrimony number 8. She does the amazing art on it. Go again. Do the notify to follow to notify. Come on, folks, make it happen. She's already got 103 followers, which puts her in a great place. But the more followers you have, the better place you are in the algorithm. So go and support Meta Sorcier and her beautiful art and this epic fantasy story. And I gotta say that I'm constantly yelling at the book as I read it, because these characters are just pissing me the hell in a good way. Like, why did you do that? Oh man, Mr. Nat, are we forgetting anything?
Not this time. We are all set to go.
I think Hypergeist.
Oh, why are we going to do that one then?
I don't have it up, but you can talk.
All right. So, our good friends over at Bag Mug Media, a wonderful place that unfortunately we are not able to show to the wonderful masses due to reasons.
For reasons.
Oh yes, very.
I hate it when reasons happen.
Oh, you will love these reasons though.
Okay.
But they have a book. It is the last of their series for Hypergeist, a certain type of cyberpunk themed. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
A certain working model it gets entangled in a grander scheme that encompasses many things that to not spoil anything involves the fate of all other android robots like her. And
like her.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
It really
works with what it is.
I saw this when I was scrolling through. I was like, wow, this one's doing. I wonder why this one's doing so well.
If you like Blade Runner and Cyberpunk and iRobot, you're going to love this series.
All right.
It actually has a good story attached to it.
No, that's especially now I'm hearing, because I was like looking at it. I'm like, it's beautiful. You know what, man?
We also know the wonderful artist AZ Vault, who is very heavily involved in that series.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cover too. They showed it today, but I can't.
It's a wrap cover.
I can't show that cover.
Oh, you want that cover?
No. I didn't see that cover. I saw the regular one with the clothes on.
Did you see AZ's second cover for it?
The naughty one? No.
No. It looks like a tribute to something. I will.
Are you gonna pull it up?
Yeah, I can't show it on stream, but you probably know more about where it's from.
Oh man.
There you go,
We do a lot of stuff here on this show.
Ralph, if you could just check that, it is going to be the black one right down in the center. And you could probably tell me what the homage
I see why you can't show this.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the homage for that one?
Wow. It's at the tip of my tongue. I'll probably remember after the show's
over. It looks like an X-Men cover, basically.
Penthouse issue 45.
You're close. So, folks, there you have it. This has been fun. It's always a pleasure. You can tell it's been a geek out because we are at 146 when we should have been finished a while ago.
No complaints.
Had fun. Yeah, had fun. So,
dude, anytime we geek out like this is always fun.
It's good networking.
Enjoy the geekery. Go watch it. Go do the rewatch. especially you bunch of people that just showed up at the end, like you usually do. I don't know why you show up at the end. You know when the end is. And I'll do what I always do on this show. I'll press the button, and where it stops,